Hello everyone and welcome to another Go Go Muffin video. Before we dive in here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell and drop a like on the video too if you're enjoying the content. Don't forget to join our Discord server as well if you're not already there. The link is in the description down below. We've also activated our channel membership which comes with all kinds of perks, so check that out if you're interested in joining. And speaking of channel membership, I do want to take a moment to give a special shout out to our current members. So thanks to all of you, and I hope you're enjoying the benefits. And finally, a reminder that all comments on every video will be automatically entered into our weekly giveaways. Winners will be randomly selected every Monday. So good luck, and let's get this started. Alright, so in this video we're going to be taking a look at the 18th trial in the game, the T18 battle Mech Pacification in the lower zone. Now, this was actually a very fun Perilous trial, and one thing that's very surprising to me is that the devs once again have managed to introduce a completely new mechanic that we have not seen in any previous trials. And it's very impressive that even though we're 18 trials in, the devs are still finding new and unique ways to bring new mechanics to us, the players. So very good job by the devs, and let's go ahead and take a quick look at these skills here and understand exactly how this boss plays out before we dive into the video. So right away you will see that this is a 2 boss fight, and I will highlight right away, since I just spoke about it, the unique mechanic is this shared core. You're gonna have to actually kill both of these bosses at the same time. If you don't kill them both, if you kill one and then you don't manage to kill the other within a 12-second window, they will both revive with 25% max HP. That's no joke. So very important that you balance these bosses HP bars and get them both down at the same time, which you'll see in practice is relatively straightforward and not as complicated as it sounds. Now, other mechanics that you need to pay attention to, there is going to be this fuel leak here which needs to be cleansed by the healer, so the healer is going to have to run Purification for this fight. And the tank as well is going to need to run, obviously, getting you shield for unstoppable force. Now, there is an additional mechanic that is this, where is it here? This max overload. Now, as you enter battle, the boss is going to start building up stacks, and depending on your party strength, you're going to need to have one of your DPS dispel those stacks after a certain time has passed. Now, you maybe can get away with your tank dispelling this, but ideally I think you're probably going to want to have one of your DPS dispel this. But the frequency and stacks at which you're going to dispel will depend on your party's overall composition, and the easiest way to show this is just to look at it in battle and explain as we go along. So let's go ahead and jump in. Oh, just want to highlight again quickly. Just a reminder, Adventurous Plight still exists. Periodically removes your accumulated buffs from your pets, so do not run stacking pets. It's no longer viable in Perilous trials. Just a reminder. So with that explained, let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at the video and see how this fight works. So you will see here exactly what I mean. This is a 2 boss fight. Both bosses are active at the same time. Now, one thing that's unique that previous fights that have multiple targets don't always have, some do, some don't, but you can hit both targets with AoE. So you're targeting one, but you're still going to hit the other with AoE. So you can see here, you're going to be able to chip down the other target that you're not attacking with your AoE attacks, especially Stellar Path. Now, both DPS are everyone's going to basically target the left hand boss here, the drill core, whatever it's called, the drilling construct tripod, sorry, and you're going to focus this boss and get it down as low as possible, because actually it has far more HP than the main boss does. Now you can see here these 2 symbols here, this is the stacks that I was referring to. So the way to approach this is, as these stacks go up, the overall party damage going out is going to increase. And depending, like I said, on your tank survivability, on your healer's ability to keep the party alive, on how fast you're dealing DPS, you're going to have to decide exactly what stacks you want to have your DPS dispel, swap back to the boss and dispel those stacks. So like I said, most parties that are attempting this at a reasonable power as to be expected probably will want to dispel around 20 stacks. If you're a little stronger, maybe 25, 30 stacks. In our case, we simply ignored the mechanic because we relied on our DPS to just go full DPS skills and power through that mechanic entirely. But had we not had enough DPS, with the survivability in our party, we would have swapped back and dispelled at about 40 stacks. So that's how this stack mechanics works. Unstoppable force you can see going out. This is a shield for the healer. For the tank. So tank uses shield for unstoppable force. And periodically, the healer has to watch out. Like I said, the drilling construct tripod is going to do this fuel leak on everybody, which the healer's going to have to purify whenever that happens. And that's basically the entire fight. And now DPS, you're just going to sit on the left hand boss, the drilling tripod, and just DPS it down. And that's all you have to do, basically. DPS, that was fuel leak just there. So you can see the left hand boss yell fuel leak. We get the debuff, and the healer purifies it right away. So we keep focusing the tripod. There's an unstoppable force attack. Tank needs to shield that. Now we're at 9 stacks, probably just about to tick over to 10 stacks of the buff on the boss. So you would be, if you were gonna cleanse the boss at 20 stacks, you'd be halfway there already. You can see the speed at which we're a minute 20 in and the boss is at 11 stacks. So that gives you an idea of how often you should be cleansing the boss's buff stacks. Dispelling the boss's buff stacks. But for now, we're just focusing the tripod full DPS. You can see here we've got the tripod down to just around 60% HP or so. And you can see whenever a Stellar Path skill goes out, it attacks both targets and deals quite a good amount of damage. Now DPS, you're almost certainly going to want to run Blade Hound, 2 Blade Hounds for this fight. The reason is because your most important period of dealing damage is going to be when both bosses are under 50% HP, especially in the last little sliver of health when you have to kill both at the same time within a 12-second window. So absolutely make sure you're running your Demon Hounds, your Colt, and your Blade Hound special skills in order to get that bonus damage when the bosses are under 50% HP. Very, very critical that you do that. It is by far the best special skill to have on the 3rd slot, especially since stacking pets are no longer viable. So now you can see the tripod is down to about roughly 30%. We're going to try to get it pretty low, like we want to get it like as low as we can, even like 5% HP, but we don't want to, it's a little annoying. You can see here I keep swapping the camera around to see exactly what its HP is, because it does get covered by damage text. Now you can actually turn off damage text entirely, which probably makes it easier to see that boss's HP in this fight, and I would recommend doing so. We swap to the other target. I'm going to swap back and deal just a little bit more damage with the end of my awakening there and swap back to the main boss again. And now we have double Blade Hounds equipped, and watch what's going to happen when we get the main boss down to below 50%. It's actually quite funny how powerful Blade Hound is. So 50%, and then watch, yeah, look at that go. Oh my goodness. And then here comes the funny bit. Awakening is going to pop, and yep. So Awakening plus Blade Hound is GG. Target the other boss, deal a little more damage, bring this one down. So this other boss is literally like 2% HP. Okay, so we kill the first boss, switch to the other one, and okay, so we managed to kill both bosses within 6 seconds of each other, which is, you know, it's clean enough. It's about as clean as you can get it. But that's pretty much how this fight works. Now, you know, like I said, the biggest question mark will be your party's composition as to how many stacks you're going to have your DPS swap to dispel that ability. Otherwise, you know, if you're super overpowered, you might just DPS through and ignore that mechanic entirely. But that is up to you to decide based on your own experience. So there you have it. That's how this fight works. Hope you found this video helpful and it helps you clear the boss. And good luck with this very fun Perilous trial with a new unique mechanic of killing the bosses at the same time in order to clear the fight. So take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.